Alright, today we're going to get information from a graph. And so the first thing that we're going to want to do is I want to find out what does t of 1 equal. Now here's 1, so when I go up here, there's a point there at about 25. So that's all they're really looking for. Let's do it again with t of 3. Here's 3. We go up to here, that is 30. And t of 5 is 20. Okay, which one's higher? T of 2 or t of 4? Which one is higher? Well, if I draw t of 4, it looks like it is at 25. When I do t of 2, that looks like it is at almost 35. Therefore, t of 2 is equal to, or I'm sorry, t of 2 is the one that is actually higher. You can take a look just at the graph and probably have figured that one out. Another question, when is t of x equal to 25? Well, going across, when x equals 1, we're at 25. And going across some more, at x equals 4, we are also at 25. Okay, last question based on this graph. Erase this part up here. When is t of x greater than or equal to 25? Well, over here, we are less than 25. Up here, we are greater than 25. So we start out here where it's equal to 25, and all of this in black is greater than 25. Over here, it's less than 25, never to get back up again. So if x is in between 1 and 4, including 1 and 4, that's when it's greater than 25. Alright, so they want us to, in example number 2, get us the domain and range of the square root of 4 minus x squared. And when I graph this in my calculator, it looks like a half circle like that. So the domain stands for any of the x values. Well, the lowest x value is over here, and the highest x value is over here at -2 and +2. So the domain is going to be x is less than -2 is less than or equal to x, is less than or equal to y. The range is the y values. Well, the lowest part of my graph is along this line, which is 0. And the highest point on my graph is along this line, which is 2. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. So the highest y value that we can have is 2. So when we're looking at doing domain and range, we're looking at how far left and right it gets, and how far up and down it gets. Alright, next we're going to talk about increasing and decreasing. Anytime a graph goes up from left to right like this is considered increasing because we always read a graph from left to right. Which means that if a graph is going like this, it is decreasing. It may not be a line, that would also be considered decreasing. This would also be considered increasing. So we are going to use this graph that they gave us to figure out when is the graph increasing or decreasing. So I'll make a point over here of increasing and a point over here of decreasing, and this is your age versus your weight. And so it looks like we are going to have this increase until this particular point, which looks like it is at, I can go down, 25. So from 0 to x, 25, we are increasing. This little green part looks like it is just steady as she goes, so we are not increasing or decreasing. This blue part we are once again increasing from, looks like 35 to 45 if I graph this correctly. So once again the blue part is increasing because our weight went up from the ages of 35 to 45. Then the person decided again to do a little bit of shape, so it decreased from 45, which is where it stopped increasing before, to looks like 52, and that's where it stopped decreasing. And then for the rest of their lives, looked like it was pretty much straight across. One more video, or one more, we are going to do 12x squared plus 4x cubed minus 3x to the fourth. Now when we graph this, we don't see the whole graph, so once again I'm going to have to change my maximum. So go into window and change the y max number to be 40. So my graph is not incredibly accurate. It's a little bit bigger, but you see this type of shape. What we need to do is we need to find this point up here. And in order to find this, we're going to use a max. So you're going to go to second, trace for the calculate menu, and number 4 is the maximum. So you want to make sure you're to the left of the maximum first, so I put an X right over there first. I want to make sure I'm to the right of maximum, so I put an X there second. And then when it says to guess, I just hit enter. And it turns out that that point is at, when I round it properly, it is at -1, comma 5. So this graph starts out by going up. So it's increasing when x is less than or equal to -1. And then it immediately starts decreasing until we get right here. Now it looks like minimum is at 0, 0. But once again I'm going to do second trace to get to my calculate menu and use the number 3 instead of 4 in order to find a minimum. Once again do x on the left side, an X on the right side, and it's going to say some weird number with E -11 or E -10 or whatever. That is scientific notation telling you that there's a lot of decimal points between the first number and the first, so it's like 0.00000000, and when you round that, it turns out to round to be 0. Next we need to find this point, which is a maximum again, so we're going to use second trace 4. Left side, then right side, then enter, and the x value is at 1.999 on my calculator, which means we're really going from 0 until 2, because we're increasing from this point to this point. And then over here we don't have to check anymore because we're decreasing after 2. And we'll finish up 2-3 on the next video.